Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys 1/6 scale Marvel Disney Plus figure unboxing and review. Today, we're taking a look at the premium collector's edition of President Loki, based off his appearance in the Loki show. Now, I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They have Pay in 4 and a loyalty program. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new Hot Toys review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, Hot Toys, they went all in with this packaging, and why? Why for President Loki? Why not TVA Loki or Sylvie, or do a 2-pack with both of them? No, President Loki is the one they decided to give the deluxe treatment to, and it's a limited numbered edition as well. They only made 1,500 of these things. Maybe that's for the best. I don't know how many people are really going to be searching out this particular version of President Loki. The box looks great, I'm not denying that. It's got this leather grain finish and you can feel it, it's textural. It's also super thick and sturdy. You've got gold foil everywhere and some silver foil for the Loki show logo. Then up top, a Hot Toys exclusive sticker. On the side of the box, nothing really, just more of that grain texture. And it almost looks as though they printed over the top of it, just so the cracks and crevices are a little bit brighter to emphasize that grain texture on the surface of the packaging. Around the back, President Loki and a TVA symbol, plus your usual warnings and legal info. This is new. They've actually gone to the effort of numbering every single one of the premium collector's edition versions of President Loki. I got number 80. Now, Hot Toys, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first time they've ever numbered anything. Usually if they're doing a limited edition, they'll just say, ooh, we're only making 1,500 of these things. And then we just have to take their word for it. They do not usually go to the effort of numbering anything. But there is a first time for everything, and hopefully going forward with their limited edition releases, they do number them. Look, say what you will about them giving this almost DX level unboxing experience to President Loki versus the main Loki from the show. I still think that's a weird choice, I stick by that. They don't do stuff like this very often. Limited, numbered versions throwing in all these stickers and cards and bits and pieces. It does make for a very special unboxing experience, so no, I'm not complaining. Up top we have this plastic covered card with all the various bits and pieces. We will discuss them, don't worry. Then underneath that, President Loki, as well as more bits and pieces. There are multiple levels here, so underneath this clam tray, more accessories. First in-hand impressions for President Loki himself. Tailoring looks solid, and so too does his head sculpt. What we are going to do now, though, is get all of his accessories, and then all of his other bits and pieces, laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. So that means these are all of the standard accessories. All of the other stuff, the bells and whistles, if you want to call it that, we will check out separately in another segment, right after this one. Starting off with his display base first, it's hexagonal. The top print is nice and grippy and textured with President Loki in the background. The Loki show logo is glossy, so it stands out. Round the front, President Loki. And once again, they've done the translucent green edge, so when the light hits it, it glows. This, I like. Hot Toys, keep doing that. Up top, an adjustable crotch grabber. This is such a neat accessory. It's so playful. It's a candy cane. Also, it's just a normal cane. It's got the stripes, so it looks like a candy cane, plus some gold thrown in. And some sculpted crevices. It is just cast in glossy white plastic with no dirt and grime and no weathering, which is at odds with Loki himself, who is covered in dirt and grime and weathering. For some of his smaller accessories, you do get 2 of his daggers, his signature weapons, nice and prickly, and the handles do look like aged worn metal where there are brighter sections as the brass would have been rubbed as Loki would be throwing these or stabbing people. And you also get his crown, which does attach with a magnet. I do wish there was some padding on the inside just so you'd protect the head sculpt. You will have to be a touch more careful. One of my favourite details about the crown, there's some weathering around the bottom of the horns, which, just like the weathering on the handles of the daggers, makes this look like proper aged metal. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think President Loki ever used the magical green flames in the show. It has been a while, granted I will have to go back and rewatch it, and if I've made a mistake in a future Loki video, I will let you know. The flames are more translucent towards the tips, there's this flow to it, it looks like it's swirling around in his hand. And if you want to, you can remove them from his hands if you just want these open palm hands for Loki. Some people might even go so far as to say this is a 2-pack. Not just one variant of Loki is in the box, you get 2. The second one is Crocodile Loki, or Alligator Loki. Do we know what type of reptile this guy is? I certainly don't. I have to do a little bit of research, or I'm sure someone will let me know down below. The scales up top, in fact all around, look stunning. We've got so much paint, washes in the crevices, dry brushing over the top, some lighter brown, and on the underside for the belly, some lighter paint, with even more dry brushing on top. You can also open his mouth with his spiky little teeth around the edges, and the best part? His tail is posable. You can see those little breathy holes because there's a bendy wire inside. You can pose this tail however you want, really. The only downside is you can see the seam from below. Up on top, it's disguised really well in that crevice. You can't really see it. Now, compared to the So-So Toys Crocodile/Alligator Loki, this is the one you want, and this is the one that your mum tells you we have at home. It's just nowhere near as good as the Hot Toys one. The shape, the proportions, the paint applications. I give the win immediately and forever to Hot Toys Crocodile/Alligator Loki. And lastly, before we move on to the trinkets, we have some hands. I like the definition for the hand itself with the little wrinkles on the knuckles and the fingernails, their skin texture and some rosy shading. And the array of gestures, I think it's fine. We've got those open palm hands, these style pose hands, some gripping hands, and some knife holding hands, plus some closed fists already installed on the figure. Okay, so this is all the stuff that you get with the Premium Collector's Edition version. Is it essential? Hell no. Just get yourself the figure. If you don't care for a TVA enamel pin that you can wear, not the figure, because it's too big to do that, then just skip all this stuff. Who really needs these little cards and stickers and all these bits and pieces? Kind of really no one. So I'm going to be pretty quick with how I go through all this stuff. First off, we have a Loki t-shirt. Mine came in a large size. If you are after a smaller size, hopefully you can get that done. A neat little TVA notepad that says TVA up the top and also down the bottom. Quite a few pages, I might add. A TVA luggage tag/wallet with a clear window on one side. A translucent green Loki keychain. I actually kind of like this. I might pop this on my keys. Or not sure yet. A President Loki badge made out of real metal. You do have to wear this, you can't have Loki wear this. It's huge, just like the TVA pin. A Loki light box. This I kind of think I'm going to use in the display. I like light boxes, and having this mini one, it's a little bit more versatile and it's not going to take up anywhere near as much room as some of the larger ones normally do. Now, unfortunately, the little port where you plug it in, it's micro USB and it's on the side. So when you plug it in with the included micro USB cable, it's angled. That's a nice touch. It does stick out on the side. Why is this not on the back? Either way, it does work. You flick the switch, and when I turn on my little power bank, it lights up. Unfortunately, it does blow out the Marvel logo on camera. In person, you can see it a hell of a lot better. You also get all of this stuff. You get a lenticular backdrop. That is dope. As you shift it around, the Loki show logo changes. It's going in the display, no question. You also get some little posters you can pop in the background of your display. I particularly like this one, Danger Multiverse. Some stickers, a lot of stickers, and some trading cards. I particularly like how He Who Remains is tucked around the side, so when you slide this out of the packaging, it's almost a little hidden reveal, and his background is purple versus the rest of them, it's a bright yellow. They're also only made of cardboard, not plastic. Unfortunate. What we are going to do now, though, is get President Loki himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. It's a smiling Loki in a three-piece suit with battle damage and some very weird accessories. Review over, right? No, it's a little bit more than that. They have dialed in certain things so well, some stuff is just so fine-tuned, like the battle damage and the head sculpt and the proportions. This guy, he becomes more than the sum of his parts. Initially, I didn't really want to do this review. I just wanted to open him and put him in the collection. Now that I am shooting him, I'm having a ton of fun. I get to see this figure in a whole new light, and I cannot wait to get to the poses at the end of the video. Up close and personal, kicking things off with Loki's head sculpt. You see, when outfits are kind of plain, like this 3-piece battle-damaged business suit, or a TVA outfit with the other Loki, Hot Toys have to step it up in other areas, whether it's proportions or accessories or head sculpts. And they've done exactly that. This head sculpt, I can't get over how good this looks. This line has low-key given us two of the best Loki head sculpts I think ever. This one might just be my favorite of the two. It is so expressive. It's just so much fun. There's life to the eyes. Often figures can look dead inside. This one doesn't. He is clearly having a whale of a time. His teeth are well painted, and you can even make out on the inside of his mouth there's a little tongue in there. Hard to see on camera. I know, in person you will see it. The likeness, Tom, that's him. Skin texture, super HD, all that speckling on the surface. You also have the frown lines, the dimples, the crow's feet. All of the details that you would want to be there are. You then have this beautiful full head of hair. It's got these little dangly pieces. There's so much depth to it. All the little bits down below. It might just be the best sculpted hair I've ever seen. Hot Toys, they knocked it out of the park with this head sculpt, and the other TVA Loki head sculpt as well. If you're wondering, hey Justin, what about the crown? Well, the best part is, it's magnetic and it's removable. If you don't want it there, you can just take it off. It is super simple. Also, going with a fixed neck for the head sculpt, that was the best choice. It just means they can pack a whole lot more detail onto the neck and underneath his chin. That would normally be an issue. If the head sculpt was separate, there'd be a cut right there, and it would ruin that realistic look, whereas doing it this way doesn't. Will I display him with or without the crown? I'm not sure. I might need your help on that. Weigh in down below. Crown or no crown? You might be thinking, Justin, why are we back here? It's just the back of a business suit. Yes, it is. You can see how straight the stitching is. And you can see all of this battle damage. There are tears and rips and bits and pieces that have been completely torn away. Even around the back, it's not like they just battle damaged the front of the suit. The entire suit is completely disheveled. This shoulder in particular, you can see all of the padding through the suit. It's like Hot Toys made a perfect suit, then took a knife and just went crazy to the darn thing and ripped it up pretty much everywhere. I mean, it looks very realistic because it is. I think that's what they've done. You can even see the white shirt poking through the battle damage on this particular sleeve. Speaking of the white shirt, it's nice and sharp and crispy looking, especially for the collar. The tie, you can move around, and then this vest is magnetic, so it'll lock it in position. We even have a teeny tiny little gold tie bar, which is nice and metallic. It's not actual gold, it's of course made of plastic. Then for his President Loki badge, as far as I'm aware, I don't think that's removable. The inside of the jacket is fully lined, in white, which is a good contrast against the charcoal grey. Oh, and the battle damage? It's not just some torn up fabric, they've also added some reddish paint around the edges. There's dirt and grime on the vest, you can see it on the surface. It is a little bit harder to spot on that charcoal grey for the suit. In person, it is a lot more noticeable than it is on camera. Whatever the hell happened to this guy, it quite clearly left its mark, not just with the rips and tears, but also with the paint on the surface. Down below, he's got some socks on, which is a good thing, because his pants end very high. If he didn't have the socks on, then you'd be seeing some nasty looking ankle connectors. His shoes, bar-laced, and there's some caps over the top, stitching sculpted in. There's also some speckling of dirt and grime. On the underside, some fully sculpted and also some painted tread. It's subtle, they've done dry brushing over the top. I think it might be head swap time. This is one of my favourite parts of doing these reviews, is trying out the new head sculpts on the old bodies and vice versa. This is the Avengers Endgame Avengers 1 Loki body. This head sculpt, it's right at home here. If only there was a way to pick up these head sculpts separately from the figures. I know more than a few people, me included, who would love to display this head sculpt on this body. It just fits so well. Dark World Loki, it's gotta be a no from me. Not without some serious modding. His neck connector is just too long, so He's got a huge neck, his head sculpt sits way up here. This looks way too goofy for me. If there was ever a perfect head swap, this might just be in the running. It's almost like these head sculpts were designed to be interchangeable. The neck length is the exact same, the hair height is the same, but the expression? It infuses so much more life and so much more personality and fun into an otherwise pretty straightforward and some might even say boring figure in the business casual look. And it's reverse compatible. If you take the TVA Loki head sculpt, it not only fits on the body, but much to my surprise, there's a magnet in the forehead so the crown pops on there as well. It's not perfect, it doesn't sit as flush as the smiling head sculpt. It's still compatible though. For a quick side-by-side comparison, the only remaining third-party Loki here is So Toys Classic Loki, and he's going to be very tough for Hot Toys to beat. I can't wait to get that Hot Toys one though and see if they actually succeeded in doing so. Classic Loki is taller than President Loki, who is taller than TVA Loki, who is taller than Sylvie, and they're all taller than Crocodile/Alligator Loki, still not quite sure what species of reptile Croaky is. Either way, this team, they look awesome standing together. Ah yes, the competition. This is the figure that Hot Toys President Loki is replacing in the collection. It's the SL Custom Trickster God, I think is what they called him. He's a little bit shorter than the official figure. His head sculpt isn't as good, his crown is nowhere near as shiny, his outfit is a lot cleaner and significantly more vibrant. If you want a President Loki from the start of his presidential run, maybe go with the SL Custom. I still prefer the Hot Toys one personally. Dark World Loki is actually one of my favorite Hot Toys Loki figures. He's old, he doesn't really hold up, especially in the head sculpt department. Still, I can't help but like him, and his outfit is much more glamorous. He is quite clearly blessed with glorious purpose. I'm so sorry. Oh my! I keep forgetting how freaky the Avengers 1 Loki head sculpt is without the helmet on. If you have him, please do yourself a favor, keep that helmet on. It's almost uncanny valley levels of creepy. You wouldn't really display these two together. I mean, you can, if you so choose. This was the variant of Loki who was nabbed by the TVA, kickstarting the events of the show. So they did meet, just not quite with Loki wearing the Avengers 1 outfit. He was wearing the TVA outfit at that point. Going over articulation, a dude in a business suit? I'm pretty sure we all know what to expect here. Starting off with his head sculpt, it's on a fixed neck with a ball joint down the bottom. Looking forward to there, going back to there, swivel and pivot side to side. You do have to be careful of the hair though, because it's so prickly and the jacket sits underneath it. It does tend to catch on the outfit. The arms will go out to there, forward and back, on soft ratchets, butterfly joint at the shoulder that also hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow going the full way, and for the wrist peg, it's a hinge and swivel. The torso crunches forward and back, limited slightly by the 1, 2, 3 different layers over the top of it. Swivels and pivots side to side. The legs will go forward to there, and you can bring the pants up ever so slightly for more range of motion, going out to there. Swivel at the upper thigh, double bend at the knee on soft ratchets going past 90. Then down below for the ankles, nothing to hinder them really. Just got some socks and some shoes plugged into the double ball pegs. Going forward and back, swivel, and a ton of ankle tilt side to side. Moving on to the 3 cool and 3 annoying things. The first annoying thing, I do not want to sound ungrateful. Seriously, I don't. It's all of this stuff. What are we supposed to do with the Hot Toys TVA luggage tag and a Loki pin and another pin and a keychain and a mini light box? This I genuinely like. I would have preferred just cancel all of this stuff and give us actual accessories for the figure. A throne, a little mini Throg, maybe even Kid Loki as a throw-in power pose figure. This stuff is dope. I still think they could have done better. The second annoying thing is this little teeny area right here. You can tell that if I'm complaining about something like this, I am running out of annoying things very, very quickly. You can see his base body underneath the outfit. It's unpainted, it's glossy plastic, and it looks nasty. You can futz with it, try and move the sock up and bring the pants down. Still, you are going to peep it through that hole right there. The third annoying thing is we get this little dude, and that's not the annoying thing, I freaking love this guy. We don't have a hand for him to hold on to with a severed stump around the back that's been painted all nasty and bloody like. Hot Toys have done that before. With DX07 Luke, we got the severed stump of a hand. If only they'd also given that exact same hand to this figure. That way we could have given it to little crocodile Loki. The first cool thing is the magnetic crown. Having the magnet inside the forehead, the first time you do this, it will feel a little bit like black magic. The second cool thing is they've done away with press studs for the vest. If you've ever had a suited figure from Hot Toys before, or any other company, 9 times out of 10, they use press studs or Velcro or some other kind of mechanism to keep the vest and the jacket and the various other bits and pieces closed. This time, they've gone with magnets, which means the vest is super slim and flushed down by his body. So for figure photography, you're not going to have a little press stud poking out and ruining the illusion that this is in fact a figure and not a real person. The third cool thing, which is almost seamless, at least up the top, not so much underneath, he has a posable tail. They had to one-up So-So Toys somehow. They included Crocodile Loki with their classic Loki, so Hot Toys knew they had to do something just a little bit special. Giving him a wire tail? Oh well, that fits the bill for me. Wrapping up on Hot Toys President Loki, the Premium Collector's Edition version. Save yourself the money. Do not do what I did and pick up the stupid, the ridiculously unnecessary Premium Collector's Edition version. Unless you really want a luggage tag and a notepad, I don't think you need any of that stuff. Just get the figure, save the coin, and put it towards another figure rather than splurging on President Loki, who isn't really a main variant of Loki anyway, at least not in the MCU. I love this figure. So if you're just getting the standard one, you are going to be more than satisfied. The head sculpt is awesome. It might just be the best Tom Hiddleston Loki head sculpt ever. The outfit, the proportions, the battle damage, it's just beautiful. It's visually striking. It is going to stand out, maybe even over and above the TVA Loki. If you find that outfit too boring, maybe get this one. Let this Loki represent the show in your collection. That is how much I like this figure, whereas originally, I told you earlier, I was pretty reluctant to do this video. I thought this would be so boring. It turned out not to be boring at all. It's full of life, full of fun, and full of pizzazz, which is exactly what I was hoping for. They delivered the goods with a figure that could have just flown under the radar if it wasn't as good as it is. Delivering a killer head sculpt that's also compatible with other Loki bodies, that was the right choice, Hot Toys. Well done. Now, I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They have pay in 4 and a loyalty program. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.